Hello, this is for the final project for the UAT class. And for this one, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get everything that I wanted to done, or just everything that needed to be done in general. I got a bit too ambitious for the admittedly lack of time I had, but I'm going to go ahead and just show everything I was able to accomplish up to the last minute. So here we have the main menu. Well, we have two scenes, main menu, level 1. So we'll go ahead and play this a bit. Turn down the audio a bit. So load game, that's the feature obviously couldn't get it done, but that's like safe system, but it wasn't like in rubric anyway. So buttons light up, main menu, Chevalier un right de passage. Just got decided to get a bit fancy with the title. So options, we'll see the graphics, and when we build it, you can see the full thing. So volume, you can hear the volume gets messed around with that. Same for the music, since this is the main menu background music. Sound effects, you can't really tell because there's no sound effects in the main menu, but in game it would change sound effects. Credits, pretty much just where I got all the resources, the sprite artwork, the UI, the music, and everything else. And then when you do new game, oops, a bit loud on start, it brings out the first level. Now I got a bit too tunnel vision, just kind of trying to be using a lot of kind of guides and tutorials and whatnot to the game. Like so it kind of got into bit tunnel vision on the animation, but yeah, pretty much got the animation for the knight and the skeleton enemy. You have your UI down here with your health, shield, currency, and your lives. Background music. You have your idle animation and your little running animation, and it'll got your idle animation for the enemy skeleton, along with the background and the ground. Although admittedly, bring this up, I didn't have a collider yet, so it's really just the gravity set to 0 because I just ran out of time to do actual like floor collider. I didn't want to run into the issue with the last project of spending way too much time hard focusing on one thing, although I ran out of time anyways for this one. So we have a player pawn, or player controller, game manager. Oh yeah, with the camera will follow the player, so we added a cinema machine camera with that, so it'll follow our player pawn around. Our canvas, so we have our bottom UI, their lives, health, the shield, and the idea is like there is an animation where you can actually use your shield, and that's what the shield power is there for. So you can, the idea is like you can only block a certain amount of hits before it'll let it recharge. And obviously gold you can collect. You have your audio manager with the background music, and then the background itself, your little skeleton enemy. You can see cycling through his idle animation with the animator right here. We'll actually pull up the animator. You can see the skeleton kind of going through his animator. Let me see if I can pull up the player pawn. Here we go. Yeah, so you see the player pawn, you can see like it's cycling through his animation. We have our transition, so to where when you start moving, it'll transition to the walk animation. And when you stop moving, it transitions back to the idle animation. I have it set to like 0 so that like, there's no like delay on when he switches it between. I spent more time than I should have trying to get the pixel sprite to flip when you move left and right, but I just wasn't able to figure it out. And again, just kind of short on time on getting the project done, or as much as I could. And then I got floor tiles, audio mixer. Really good music for it being free assets, honestly. We'll just stop that right there. Brings it back to the main menu. So we'll pull up the code. And thankfully, I was able to kind of use what I've done before with the space shooter. So We have our player controller, which handles the movement, our rigid body, the animator, and the Unity engine on move. This is where I was trying to get it to flip, but for whatever reason, I just could not get the sprite to flip. I think it was because it was set in the player controller, but I tried to do it to where, so it might be flipping the player controller game object. So I try to get that to call it onto the player pawn and flip it there, but I just wasn't able to get it. Let's see. Yeah, it's like math, absolute scale, if facing, and then the player movement. There's just more so player movement and debugging. Yes, by transform. Player movement and just a lot of personal notes, just to try to get myself to memorize. So like, yeah, the AA is the AND operator. And then the code can be seen in the GitHub in the link below. So as the last thing, we'll go ahead and build and run this. Yeah, there's actually quite a lot of animations, like one for attacking, one for we're getting hit when the player dies. So options. So here you can see the graphics more. So full screen, apply. So it actually brings it down to windowed. We want a full screen, so we'll apply that. Brings it back. VSync. Yeah, turns off the VSync. Turns on the VSync. We can actually change resolution if we wanted to. So you can tell. Yep, there you go. There's a set to where it automatically starts at the resolution screen. So my computer screen is automatically set to 1080p. So volume, as seen before, changes the volume, music, back, credits, back, we'll go back to start, and yeah, we'll quit, so that just quits out the game. We'll build it again, just wanted to show off that working. Build and run, get back into the game, new game. Brings us to level 1. Yep. I got little runs, little running animation. Again, you couldn't get him to flip on the x-axis, and just have his little idle animation. And that's unfortunately I just was not able to get more done, or at least complete the rewrite. But that's everything that I could get done for the final project. I actually do plan on I actually do want to plan on finishing this, just so it gives me something solid and complete to put on a portfolio. But there we go.